Oh God!
What a ride. What's up guys, Luke back again with another video, and we just finished a crazy ride of just playing scary games for the entire month of October. So I got some stories to tell, and we called it Scaretober over at the live stream. I ramble on, let's get into the games. So the first game that I played this October for our Scaretober was The Medium. And this game was an awesome surprise, actually. It was an exclusive game. You can actually purchase it now on PC as well as PS5 and play it on those platforms as well. But I played it on my Series X and it was nothing short of a spectacular experience. And this game is kind of like a Silent Hill-y vibe. It was actually had some developers from the original Silent Hill games where you don't really have a weapon. You're kind of a defenseless character. You are this medium that can basically move from the spirit realm to the physical realm and back, and kind of uses it to solve puzzles, to solve mysteries of the past, and to basically carry people that have passed on from their physical lives. They now need to make it to kind of the great beyond, if you will, and your job is to help them there. Without spoiling it, it's an absolute banger of a story, like probably the best story in a horror game that I've experienced since The Last of Us. I think you'll absolutely love The Medium. I can't say enough about this game. Story's amazing, gameplay's amazing. It's a must play. Now, the second game that I played in October was a absolute banger, total phenomena when it first came out, and that game is Resident Evil 7 on PSVR.
Guys, this is so sick.
This is like probably the scariest game on most horror fans' lists, so I just wasn't ready for it.
Oh God!
I'm like starting to have, and I've said this before, kind of a renaissance of horror games like in my life, because I didn't really grow up this way. Now that I've kind of like reached this certain point in experiencing these scary experiences, I'm like, I'm ready now. So I dove into it head first, and it was nothing short of a horrifying experience.
Holy crap! God! No!
And this experience was even scarier than anything that I've experienced in like reality, like real life. It just makes it just a terrifying experience, and something that I think you guys should do too. It's still the scariest game that you can play. If you haven't played Resident Evil 7 VR and you are a horror fan and you want kind of a challenge, this game is the game to play. Challenge yourself and see if you can get past it.
It's the ring! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Because I haven't experienced anything scarier. So let me know in the comment section down below if there's a game that is scarier than Resident Evil 7 and why, and maybe I'll check it out. And the final game that I played this October for Scaretober was Resident Evil 4 VR. This game came out on the 21st, and I've been playing it ever since. This is the longest Resident Evil game that I've played to date. I think I almost reached about 15 or 16 hours to complete it the first time. Part of that is because I'm goofing off, but another part of that is it's just a very long game. It's probably one of the longest Resident Evil games that have been made, but that's not a knock against it. This game was so fun from beginning to end. It's a little less of a horror game and more of like an action game. You got like all these guns and you know, ample amount of ammo, and you're just mowing through enemies. Oh man, it's just like an intense time, like the entire time. But with that being said, there were a lot of times where I was absolutely like brown my pants, terrified when I go around a corner and there's a big monster in the scale of VR and they're like, oh, you know, coming after me. Like, it is not a completely scare-free game. This game was pretty spooky. The atmosphere is very eerie, especially in VR, and it is a game that I feel like is probably a must play, probably the game of the year for me as far as games go for 2021. But Resident Evil 4 VR wasn't without a few sort of caveats that kind of were a little bit frustrating in it. One thing is obviously the going from your first person view into third person view to maybe climb a ladder or to do Leon's little kick after he stuns an enemy. That is a little bit immersion breaking. You kind of get used to it and it's really not that big of a deal. It's like a quick cut, he does his move. Also, climbing ladders in VR can be kind of a fun experience as well. I've done it quite a bit in games like Population 1. It's kind of a bummer that they left that stuff out, but it may have been some sort of technical limitation that they just couldn't make happen. Another thing that was kind of a bummer with Resident Evil 4 VR is the grenades. I always seem to have been picking up grenades and grab things and you bring it to your chest, right? If you want to add that thing into your inventory, say I pick up a bit of ammunition, I put it to my chest, I release the grips and it goes into my inventory. With grenades, that just never seemed to work. I'd grab it, I'd put it in my chest and let go, and for some reason, the grenade would fall down and it would magically have the pin pulled and it would go off and go boom. And I lost at least 20 grenades just by doing that. So I feel like those two things were the biggest sort of immersion breakers, if you will, but by far not something to deter someone from playing the game. It is an amazing game, and I'm sure those things could even be possibly patched and changed in the future as this game continues to sell and grows in popularity. And another cool thing about playing this old game that came out in 2005, once again in VR, is the puzzles and the different interactions that you get to do with certain objects. Almost every button that you press in the original game for like an elevator or a door to open or a key card to insert or a puzzle to solve are now you can physically interact with those puzzles instead of using your thumbstick to move them and manipulate them. I feel like it really just kind of brings the game alive again and gives it just a new breath of life where it's considered to a lot of people to be the best Resident Evil game. So even if you're that guy that's played it multiple times, play it in VR, you will not be disappointed. You'll probably have a better time because you know where everything's at. So you'll be able to kind of blow through it and do a speed run on a whole other level in VR. But that was my experience for this year as far as Scaretober went. But those are 3 games that you can kind of go and check out for yourself. They are absolute bangers, and I would 100% recommend that you checked out all 3. If you got value out of this video, do me a big favor and smash that like button, as well as subscribe with bell notifications turned on for more videos just like this one. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Luke from 8bitplus signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.